All right. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling good this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. I want to encourage you to give me a replay, gang. If you're checking out the replay, every morning we meet up right here, same time, same line, to help you move further, faster, with less effort. Some of you know, some of you don't, but I'm a revenue acceleration expert. I'm also into self-esteem development because I feel like at the end of the day, it's the hub. It's kind of like the middle of the rim. When you look at that wheel of success, the thing in the middle of it all is your self-esteem, because it's your self-esteem that's going to allow you to decide what level of success you expect, and then also what level of success you accept. It all boils down to your self-esteem. Does that make sense? And so every morning we are here to help you kind of grow that thing, grow some skills that's going to pay the bills. So make sure you like this, make sure you comment, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. You know what I mean? You can follow me on Instagram at No Money Down King. If you don't already, I'm always giving you jewels there as well to help me go from homeless to a multimillionaire. I really feel like it's way understated that anyone can do this. It does not take a lot of extra special, I don't know, maybe you think you're supposed to have grown up with a trust fund and all of that. That ain't really how it works, y'all. All the glory comes from the adversity. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand it right now, but soon you'll understand that really that adversity is a gift. You know what I'm saying? So right now, check in. Let them know your city. What kind of business do you have? How do you help people? We want to know. We want to know. It's a Wednesday. You know, make sure you also join our text message system. Y'all see that? You know, text message at MillMine to 81010. Also, I want you to join the email list, man. Go to millionaireminded.com and let's get busy. Let's get busy. You know, let's talk about dreams this morning, y'all. Let's talk about dreams. Let's talk about rediscovering our purpose this morning, because it's that purpose, boy, that helps you stay on track when everything don't feel like it's going as smooth as it could, or as smooth as you thought it would, or as smooth as you planned for it to go. A lot of times what you need to know is what your purpose is. I got the world's most simple formula, you know, for knowing what your purpose is. And before I give it to you, I want you to realize that your purpose is going to change. When you was a youngin', maybe your purpose was being a fireman. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like, whoa, I love them trucks, right, fellas? Or maybe your purpose was being a construction worker, because you're like, whoa, I love them trucks. You know what I mean? Remember them big joints that just come and it's just like you felt like you was moving the earth. You know what I mean? Something about us as young men, we're drawn to that on a primal level. You know, ladies, maybe when you were little, your purpose was you was going to be a chef. You saw your mama working it out. He's like, you know what? I like this. I like the feeling I get from this. I like the fact that other people going to get a feeling from what I do. I want to be a chef. But then as you get older, your purpose is kind of changed, right? And that can be daunting. The prospect of starting over can mess your whole head up. You know, not to mention, you don't really hear a lot of people when you're out at the bar or you in the barbershop or the hair salon talking about, man, you know what? I really need to rediscover my purpose. You don't hear people talking like that a lot. But these are existential questions, right? When you really start to do a little research, or even if you start to do a little introspection, you're going to realize this is kind of normal. People are out here struggling, man. We don't talk about it as often as we should, because the hypnotic cultural societal mechanism keeps us numb. It keeps us distracted. So what we do, instead of thinking about our purpose, is we just pick up the remote and we click on the anesthesia. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say to you this morning is that as people change, as people evolve, so does their purpose. And once you accept this fact, maybe you'll prioritize rediscovering yours. Maybe you'll understand this is where a lot of your power is draining out. maybe we can help you get some of that power back. So I got 5 different ways for you to rediscover this thing. All you have to do in this equation, okay, is type in the one that you feel and then give us a share. That's all you got to do, right? Check it out. All you got to do is type in the principle if you agree with it and then give us a share, because the universe gives to the givers just like it takes from the takers. Isn't that amazing? Universe has a perfect accounting system. And all you got to do to get on the right side of that equation is make sure you're a giver. Make sure you realize you got to serve before you deserve. And I'm giving you a real cool way to make it happen. Yeah, let's look at some of these dreams that we had out this thing. My man Zave, hey, Crystal Clear's up in the house. She does in-home tutoring, and she's amazing. If y'all don't know, if your child needs a little bit of extra assistance, ain't no shame in that. Only shame is in not getting them what they need. So make sure you holler at Miss Crystal Reynolds. My man Zay was like he wanted to be in the NBA, but it didn't work out. Hey, man, you never know. You know what I mean? Get back out there. Maybe you're going to do it overseas. Wow, Trina. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Lashika makes all natural products to assist people with their self-care needs. I love that. I love that. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. Here's the first way I got for you to rediscover your purpose. Number one, because, you know, we try to do these in 15 minutes. So I'm going to give them to you kind of quick, but you get to watch it over if you want. It's all good. Here's number one. Try to come from a beginner's mindset. Try to adopt a beginner's mindset. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that millionaires, a beginner's mindset, a lot of times is all about seeing things through the eyes of somebody who's just now getting started. You need to be able to explore your interests. You need to be able to explore your values. You need to be able to explore your likes and your dislikes like you're doing it for the first time. What if you began to disregard all these biases and opinions about yourself and the world that you live in? What if you begin to let go of all of these preconceived notions about the world you let go? What if you let go of all your professional knowledge so that your mind became like a clean slate? How would that change everything? Right? And I know it's easier said than done, but I just want you to consider this, because you got to get in this headspace if you're going to be open to what's coming. You're not going to be able to grab what's coming if your hands are already full. You know what I mean? Like maybe, you know, I used to believe, you know, I don't know, being a hip hop artist was my main purpose in life. You know what I mean? This is a true story. Some of y'all may not know this, but I come from the music business. I used to write songs for all these people and stuff. You know, I was dedicating my whole thing to being a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I got music and movies. You know, if you put my name in Spotify or Pandora, all types of cool stuff comes up, right? But check it out. I used to believe that that was my sole purpose in life, right? Have you ever been through that? Have you ever had something that you dedicated a lot of your energy to and you were like, yo, this got to be my purpose. Matter of fact, I'm choosing this. But here's what's wild. Millionaires, even when I wasn't feeling this way anymore, I found it really hard to not cling to this belief, right? Now, once I let go of it, something interesting happened. I felt like I had a world of possibilities. This is what I mean by adopting a beginner's mindset. When I was going through that really rough moment, it was not practical for me to, and not that practical is some word to aspire to, because y'all know I say it all the time. Everything that was ever done was first done by the unqualified, right? So I'm not a big believer in something being practical or something being realistic. But what I'm saying is, for me, the fact that I had so much adversity, it sort of started to light up a path for me. I had children to take care of, right? I had myself to take care of. So I had to start looking at different things where I could use my gifts to serve in a completely different way. So if I was good at writing, if I was good at communication, what else could I do to kind of make that work for me and make that work for my family and my responsibilities and my duties. Because at the minute you have responsibilities and duties, it can't be just about you anymore, right? That's bad leadership. And that's going to make you a warning instead of an example. You something to think about this morning. So what I'm saying is, since life is something that happens while you're busy making other plans, it may be that you are given the gift of adversity right now in your life so that you can reconsider what you're good at and how you can use it. So, what can you do after you decide to adopt a beginner's mindset? Now it's time to assess some things. Okay? Maybe you do something like, here's number 2, take a couple of career tests, right? This step is going to be easier for you now that you've decided to adopt a beginner's mindset. Pretend you're a graduate student who has no idea what they want to do with this degree they just got. You have no idea what you want to do with your life. Maybe you take a couple of career assessment tests. Y'all ever heard of that? Career assessment tests? Maybe you take 3 to 5 of these tests that kind of show you your aptitudes and kind of show you your proclivities, right? Each test will show you a bunch of careers that might be a good fit for you. And maybe you turn that into the business you want to start. You know, I can't tell you how often people get caught up into thinking that their job is their purpose. You are not at your job for the bill collectors. You're at your job to be a skill collector. You get what I'm saying to you? Your whole job is to become more valuable, so you become more powerful. You're there to collect a new skill set. And the minute you stay at that job so long, you can do that job in your sleep, is the minute on some level you might be selling your soul. You might be trading in your life force for a paycheck. If it's not keeping you growing, if it's not keeping you expanding, if it's not keeping you able to serve on a higher level and reach for more impact, remember, in this thing called life, you're only growing or you're decaying. You can only grow or die in this thing called life. So what we're suggesting you do is check out a couple of these career assessments so that you can zero in on some silos, on some verticals, on some industries that might be a good fit for you. I'm not saying that you have to go and get a job. What I'm saying is you need to get more aware of the things that interest you, the career choices that show up repeatedly. That's why I said take 3 to 5 of them. Make sure that you're focusing on the change you want in your world instead of the usual follow your passion, kind of like t-shirt bumper sticker crap. All that sounds good, but what I'm saying is you also need to know what you're good at. You also need to work on your strengths a little more than you work on your weaknesses. Ain't nothing wrong working on your weaknesses. I think it's the worst kind of man that don't work on his weaknesses. But right now we're talking about your purpose. And there are things that come easier to you than they come to me. And I'm humbly suggesting that you attempt to use some of the resources that have been given to us by living in a century like the one we live in and use them to make your life better. Does that make sense? Once you do this simple step, you're going to have a list of these potential careers that you're likely to excel in because you have the required aptitude. Think about it. Now you're off to this incredible start. Now all you got to do is marry your strengths and your interests. Does that make sense? Yeah, you're going to have to do some research. Some may even call it substantial research on what each career involves, right? But I mean, what better thing to spend a little energy on if not your purpose in freaking life, right? Maybe to look at what kind of responsibilities this job entails. Maybe to look at how these responsibilities align with your interests, how they align with your personality. Now you're narrowing down the list more. You started off with this many, but now it's starting to come on in, right? Now, if you're an introvert, for instance, who dislikes attention, right? And one of your potential careers is being an actor, maybe that's not a good fit for you. You see what I'm saying? But at least we got a starting point for some dialogue, right? Here's a third one I got for you. Millionaires, write down what you want and what you don't want. Write down what you want, but also write down what you don't want. These career test results can be kind of overwhelming, y'all. If you're anything like most of us on the planet, they're likely to give you a really long list, unless you put in some really wild stuff when they were assessing you, right? You're probably going to get a pretty long list of potential careers. There's a lot of damn jobs out here, you know what I mean? And more being created every day. So, like anything, when you have too many choices, next thing you know, you might get a little anxious. Now you're confused, right? Now you got analysis paralysis. So what do you need to do? The best way to deal with this issue is to make some decisions, because once you make decisions, you ain't got to make so many choices. You need to make a decision about the things that you want and the things that you don't want, right? Like, maybe one of the things on your list is that you do not want to work with people who have major mental health issues. Okay, but check it out. Maybe one of the things on your want list is that you do want to help people with major mental health issues, but only after you figure this out can you decide between maybe being a school counselor and being some kind of psychologist, some kind of clinical. Maybe you need to be getting into clinical psychology, or maybe you just need to get into normal nursing. But see, articulating this, writing it down, putting it there on paper helps you to understand where you're really at with this thing. You know what I mean? And these are questions that nobody else can really answer for you, even though they love you. Here's number 4 I got for you. Listen to your gut instinct. Listen to your gut, your intuition. One of the 6 faculties of the mind. You got 6 different superpowers just because you're human, right? This is what makes you top of the food chain. Not the fact that you can move your fingers and your toes and use tools and all of that. All that's cool, right? But a monkey can do a lot of that. Let me tell you what makes you top of the food chain. Top of the food chain is because you have will, imagination, perception, reason, memory, and intuition. That's what makes you top of the food chain. Your intuition is amazing. It's one of the faculties of your mind that we really don't study enough. We really don't study any of the faculties of the mind enough. If you understood the faculties of the mind, you'd be a lot more impressed with yourself. But here's what I want you to think about. I bet you, even if you never called it intuition, you realize that you get a gut feeling, you get a gut instinct. Once you've completed these steps that I've already given you, and you've got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 solid career options in front of you, and you can't pick one, right? You know the feeling I'm talking about? Or if you have a longer list, you know who you should rely on, right? You need to rely on yourself, baby. You the one got to live this life. So many people are depressed in their older age because they found out for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they've been living somebody else's life. They still hearing their mama voice echo in their head or their daddy voice echo in their head. And they don't even realize who life they living. Millionaires, this is where your gut instinct needs to kick in. You can't ignore it. Maybe you're torn between being a counselor and a life coach. Both options change your life for the better, right? Both options are amazing. But if your gut says that you're way better suited to the field of counseling than coaching, and you always wanted to study psychology, it's time to enroll yourself in that master's class on psychology. I don't care if it's at a community college. It's time for you to pursue this path that God gave you. Because here's what I want you to understand. And this is number 5 I got for you. Finding your purpose is a formula, y'all. I always explain it like this. Passion times service equals purpose. Passion times service equals purpose. What do I mean by that? I mean, maybe you need to look at what you love to do and how you can use it to help somebody else. And then before you know it, you have found your purpose, at least for this stage in your life. Passion times service equals purpose. I hope this was helpful this morning. Hope y'all got something out of this. Somebody write that in the comments and share it with somebody who wants to know. You know what I'm saying? It's affirmation time. We about to get busy. What do you love to do? Now, how can you use it to help somebody else? That's your purpose in life. Ain't that simple? You're like, damn, Haziq, you could have saved us this whole 15 minutes. You could have just started with that. Nah, I want you to be able to go through a purpose so you realize what you love to do. Because sometimes you don't know what you like. You just like what you know. You're just choosing from the things you've been exposed to. Well, there's a whole other world out there. You don't even know what you might like, man. And what a tragedy it would be for you to keep wasting a bunch of time on stuff you don't, necessarily love. Am I making sense to somebody out there? Yeah, that's a major life key right there. That's a major life key. It's a formula. Passion times service equals purpose. All right, y'all, repeat after me. Say it like you mean it. I am so happy and